Let's start up here at the control panel. This is the SP108, 108-inch diameter reel capacity, 56 inches wide. The weight study, preliminary weight study, showing about 12 to 13,000 pound reel capacity. All right. At the control panel, I'll have our engine display, ignition. Like our track machines, we have the manual and remote switch, right? We're going to be in track or remote when we're driving it. This we decided is not going to be needed. So at this point, it's going to stay on these machines, but on future machines, basically the remote can always be active. And right now on this machine, if you're in the manual mode, all that it is controlling, Mark, is the jacks, correct?
That is correct. So really, what that says is once we switch to remote and we do your pulling functions and or driving functions, makes the jacks enabled.
The remote will be active in the manual section, but if you're in the remote section,
right, at that point your jacks are disabled.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. So we've got our 3 jacks, 2 rear outriggers here, and then we've got our front drive wheel jack. We're also considering the jack up there. Emergency stop. One thing that's different on this machine compared to our competitors is the front drive wheel is direct drive, no chain and sprocket, with a spring applied hydraulic release safety brake. So e-stop is depressed or you lose pressure, blow a hose, whatever, kill the engine. We've got a brake incorporated into that front drive to where it's locking solid. You know, you're not breaking a chain, it's not rolling down a hill. Same goes for the drive rollers. You lose pressure, you bust a hose, and you're activated against the reel. This activation is going to stay. This pressure is going to stay on this reel, so you're not dropping a line. Single lever control valve that's going to engage the drive rollers. So basically, the way we've designed this is you're going to get the drive rollers as close as you can to the reel, and then once you'll see here shortly. But once you're, I'd say, this far away, you're just going to hit this activation switch, and then it's going to take it the rest of the way and apply the pressure that you have set. How much pressure it's going to take for various size reels, various configuration reels, whether it's steel reels or wood reels. Obviously, this reel that's on here is our split reel, our center split reel. So we've got this set, I don't know, the comfortable range, Mark, was?
Yeah, it seems like anywhere from about 200 up to 400.
200 PSI to 400 PSI. You start to see kind of the rollers press just a little bit. So that is fully adjustable right here on the fly. So you don't have to have anything else preset. You could literally adjust the drive roller pressure right there.
When adjusting the pressure, Steve, something you preset before you engage that, or is it something after you do it, then you bring the pressure up?
I think it's going to be something we kind of set and forget. I mean, especially with this reel. But if you're using a wood reel, you might want to have less pressure on it. So that's something we're going to kind of figure out. But I think you'll preset it to, let's say, 200, 250 PSI. Activate it. The rollers will condense a little bit. You'll see that. And then if it starts to slip, or it's just going to take kind of some getting used to figure out what. But that, again, that you don't have to deactivate it, move it back, and then readjust it. You can adjust it on the fly. Okay. Your light's going to illuminate when it is activated, when the drive rollers are activated. And then the adjustment of the rollers for different width reels are here on each side, and then we have a tool in the toolbox. So literally you're just cranking this Acme thread forwards or backwards and adjusting the drive rollers in and out for different width reels. Okay.
That's
Mark,
correct.
what is the max PSI that we have currently set for the drive roller pressure? Yes, is there a way we could over pressurize? Yeah.
At this point, we're looking about our 600. Again, I think it's more so we don't have to go that high to do the work, but the capability is there if it gets to that point.
So remote control, real similar to our other remotes on our undergrounds or our track machines. Basically, hold down the power button to power it on. We have a switch on the side here that basically is going to activate either the drive wheel at the front or the drum, essentially. So we don't want you to be able to activate the drive wheel while the drum's turning. So that's the two modes it's basically on. On the drive wheel section of it, we have basically drive forward and backwards and steer right to left. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Again, we've got our e-stop. When it's pressed, the spring-applied brake will lock and nothing's happening. Pay in, pay out, same thing on the standard undergrounds. We've got pay in, center, and pay out. If you're in pay in, we're adjusting our line speed. And if you switch to pay out, nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna shut down. We always have to go back to 0 and then pay out, and then go forward, okay? Level wind on this unit, you see that we have that. That is right now an optional thing. At some point we may assume that it's just gonna be standard equipment. We're gonna see what people like. If you wanna see the one that doesn't have the level wind, we've got that one in our booth. Saves about 12 inches off the overall length of the trailer. So that's an option too. For a level wind, left, right. Right now it's on a spring return, so. And then the reel lift. We've got 2 toggle switches here for the reel lift. They are independently controlled, so if you're on unlevel ground, you can adjust that. Charging port here on the side. And then we've got, all our remotes now are coming with a corded pendant in case you do lose power or the batteries die. You can just plug it in and then plug it into the receiver on the machine and operate like a tethered remote. So we've incorporated this rear swing out bumper. This is different than the competitors. Aside from being an open yoke, this provides a lot of structural support where you're loading a 10, 15,000 pound reel. It ties the main frame together, so we don't have any issues there. So basically that's what the other tool is for. You'll loosen that nut and swing that cam lock out, and then the whole rear bumper will swing open, and that's when you'll back the reel or back the trailer into the reel, load it, or before you load it, swing the bumper closed, tighten it back down, and that provides the rigidity to support.
Yeah, and that's what we found with our underground.
So the idea there is they could back right over the vault or the manhole, pull up, and then level wind. It's not a reversing screw. So basically you'll get all the way to one side. Pressure is set such where it's not going to damage anything if they don't kick it back, but then you'll have to manually kick it back the other direction. So you've got full control over the level wind. Those are some other things that we're still trying to determine what speeds we need to be working at and things. So you'll see when we fire it up that it's moving pretty slow right now. That is something that can be easily adjusted. As well as the speed of the drive wheel function, we've got that turned down pretty slow. Slower in reverse than it is in forwards, just because that's where you're trying to back into the reel and you probably want it a little bit slower. Actually, yeah, what do we calculate that at? Was it about 3 miles per hour on the drum speed?
10 RPM, which equates to about 180 feet a minute.
180 feet per minute.
And you vary whether it's the core.
And that is something that can be modified too if needed. That's another thing we're trying to figure out is what kind of speeds do we need to be working at. Same drive system as all of our other pullers.
That is correct. Yep, same as our underground equipment as well.
22.5 tires, electric over hydraulic disc brakes. That was the way we could get maximum width reel and keep fully engineered axle. This axle, this is not homemade. This is fully engineered from Dexter axle at the rated capacity. So
nice.
It's a reliable braking setup. So anybody with electric brakes can pull this trailer. No need for an air brake truck. Yeah, some of the competitors actually rate that they could carry a 20,000 pound reel, but at that point they are overloaded, and they do say that in the fine print. Same goes for this one. If you wanted to have this on site and lift a 20,000 pound reel and work in that space and not move the trailer, it'll do it. It's just you're going to be overloaded on your axles. You're not going to be able to carry it over. So this is a new split reel as well. We've always done the side split where we just lay it on its side, unbolt it, take the top off, the clamshell kind of. This is a center split reel. It's got bearings on each side of it, a 2-piece reel bar, so that there's literally no friction whatsoever. It makes for a really smooth pull. Well, we've got a wrench that actually takes the lugs off from inside. We've got line-up pins, go over how to break that reel apart, but essentially we've got an apparatus that goes into the sides of the reel, pick up from the top, the reel breaks apart from the center, and everything's going to fall into a pile and in between the reel flanges. Recommendation out there that if they are wrecking cable out at that kind of load, that we send them with our reel, right? I mean, maybe their work practice calls for them using a different reel, but I think the way that we've got this one designed with the bearings, I think that's going to be the most practical and economical for them.